Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning back to Urban Tropical. Before I proceed for the video, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who remained a subscriber to my channel, even though that I have stopped posting videos for the last year. And just to say that I was really unwell. I developed a condition called minimal change disease, which kind of compromises your kidneys, and to make sure your kidneys are not compromised, they compromise your immune system, and that means you just get infections continuously. I'm just talking so casually about it because I had it for such a long time. It's kind of yeah, it is what it is, but I hope that I'll get better soon. It's not fatal. It's got very high survival rate. It's just your quality of life compromises with all the medications you are on, with all the infections you pick up. So yeah, all good. So today's video is going to be all about colocasias. I love colocasias. They are very expensive if you go for these nice looking ones, and I want to protect so that I don't have to spend money again next year. Before I do this video, I just want to mention I did overwinter last year, and I did it indoors because I don't have a greenhouse and my shed is really no good. It has some leaks in it, and it gets frosty when the temperatures are quite down, so that's taking a risk. So what happened to the ones I did overwinter last year, so it was Pharaoh's mask and it was lemon and lime colocasia. They survived. Pray to that. But I'm a very impatient person. I see sun outside, I think, wow, it's amazing. These plants, they know how to survive and they can take it. So I brought them out early March. I would say maybe nighttime temperature, I don't remember, but they were not good enough for them. And my Pharaoh's mask died and my lemon and lime survived. So promise to myself for 2025, don't bring them out, keep them indoors as much as I can, and just keep them going. So if you are into colocasias and don't want the headache of overwintering, I would really recommend this colocasia. It's a really long name and I have got it. It's like weed, but I have got it in a contained area. It really grows like weed. It's same to my tetrapanax. Tetrapanax is a weed for me. It's growing everywhere like crazy. So is this colocasia. It has survived -7 degrees. It's like a bionic version of that. It's just amazing. It gives you jungle feel. No maintenance. I mean, that's amazing. But anyway, let's go back to the plants I'm going to overwinter. Just to add, because I'm going to overwinter in the house, I don't like to use the old soil from the garden or any kind of compost. Normally I would have made my own compost with worm castings and with perlite or with some kind of drainage, but because I'm not feeling that great, I just went to B&Q and I picked up ready-made housing plant pot mix. I even mix up my words now. So I'm going to use that just to make my job easier. Otherwise I just won't do it, because when I think I have to do so many things. So let's dig this out and let's store it in the house. Just to quickly mention, if you do have a greenhouse, you can use the same method, but I will need to water more frequently indoors because my house has heating on. Temperatures will be like 21 degrees pretty much, and if you are keeping it in the greenhouse, temperature is going to be pretty much outside temperature, and maybe minus let's say, yeah, it's going to be better than outside, but not materially better. That means you still need to water, because don't let it dry completely, but you can water whenever you think it's almost getting to bone dry, like 80%, 90% dry. You can just give it some water, so which would be, I think, hardly in a month, to be honest, because it's just not gonna dry outside in a greenhouse. If you do have a shed and you have a light, you can use your shed as your greenhouse. But I have tried shed. My shed has a leakage, so somewhere water gets in, and when it's really low temperatures, I have experienced frost, because 4 or 5 years ago my insectae died in my shed. So I don't even store my insectae. Actually, I did not store my insectae last year, and voila, if you can see, is still there and just going great. I'm not contemplating if I should dig it up this year, but November is way too early for me, so I'm going to decide maybe mid-December. What do I want to do with it? Do I want to keep it outside or do I want to store it? So that's how it's going to work. And we need to cut the grass. Oh, that's a job not for me, but anyway. So I have got here, this one's supposed to be Colocasia, what's the name, Graphite Redemption. Yes, this one is supposed to be pink in here, but I think we don't get enough heat. It looks like any other black forms of Colocasia. And this is the one I took out early. It has still survived. This one is lemon and lime. I just think it's quite resilient. And then I have got Pharaoh's mask. I have got two of them, one in a shaded area. You can see the leaf is actually quite, you can even see the winter damage. This is ready to be coming out. I won't be shooting video on this, but I have got variegated bananas. So I have actually forgotten the names. I bought them, it was so tiny, like this tiny when I got it. So I'm going to take them indoors as well. And this is the Colocasia I was saying grows like weed. It goes everywhere. It doesn't die and it looks absolutely beautiful. And this is another Pharaoh's mask I have got. Now you can see the temperatures are really dropping and they are just the leaves are dropping, so it's a good time to dig them up and bring them indoors. So I have dug these up. Pharaoh's mask, you can see from the size, is really compromised and it doesn't have much rooting system. So if I want this one to survive, I cannot put it in a really big pot because it will be wet for a prolonged period of time and most likely lead to rot and my plant could die. So I need to find a really small pot or gather a lot of them in one pot. And I just wanted to, I'm so actually excited about this one. So lemon and lime, as I said, it was quite resilient to lower temperatures. And it has got really good healthy rooting systems. And another one I think is popping up right there. I have got, so this one multiplied and it's actually multiplying really nicely. So there is another one. And here is Graphite Reflected, that's the name, yes. It's got really good rooting system as well. And a new leaf is just coming up. Usually I will cut the leaves, the older leaves, and just let the new ones grow, but because the leaves look so nice and pretty, I'm just going to take them indoors. So what I'm thinking right now is, shall I pot them up together or shall I pot them individually? That's based on the pot size and the root size. So these ones are going to be potted now with the soil I have just bought from B&Q. I just wanted to emphasize on the sizing. So for example, if I use this one, it's really small for this, so this one is no good for me. This one seems like the right one, but when I was looking for pots, I found this option. So this one has got no holes at the bottom, and if I think about the size, it's huge. That means I will end up using a lot of compost in order to compensate for that. The reason I don't want a lot of compost because it's going to remain wet for a prolonged period, and it's also going to be wastage of my compost, which is pretty expensive. I just bought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one, put all of them in here, but to save myself some soil, I'm just going to put this one at the bottom. Again, there are no holes, and I have got one through crack is gone really, this pot. So that means I have to be really careful when I'm going to water this, and I just need to find something to place underneath because I got wooden flooring and that will be ruined if I don't sort my leakage issue from the pot. So to save myself soil, I'm just going to do this. The question you might think is, how easy would it be to separate? Actually, this is comb. This is what you need intact. So I know it's going to grow a bit more roots and they're gonna intertwine into each other, but as long as it's not major entwine and I can get it out without damaging it, this is absolutely fine. But if you feel uncomfortable doing so, please just keep it separate. I'm just trying to save space. And this way, this doesn't need to go on my windowsill, it can go on the floor. So now I have potted 4 out of 5. The only one left is this one, and this one I'm just going to put it in an individual pot, and this seems to be the right size for it. So I have potted them up and now I have brought them in-house. I still have not watered it, so it's actually quite moist, but I don't want to keep them dry because I just got them in, so I'm just gonna give it really tiny bit of water. And I have kept them right next to the light, so I think these ones actually will grow more if that's the intention you make. So in the process, I was supposed to really store it so that they don't grow much in winter, but when I found this pot, my whole idea changed. So I went from kind of cold storage to proper growing stages. So I'm giving it light. It's right next to the radiator. I just want to say that some plants really don't like the change in heat, but this one, if it does not like the heat on and off, the sudden change in the temperature, then I will be moving its location. But so far I have placed it, it's right next to the door, so it has a lot of outside light, and I'm just going to see how it grows. And yeah, it just looks really nice, the combination of green and the black. So now my mission is to bring in house my variegated musas, which are quite precious to me, but I just kind of didn't pay attention to them again due to my health reasons. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm going to stop this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave them in. And if you have also any suggestions, they always come in handy, especially for people who don't have greenhouses or don't have the space for it, or just don't want anything extra in the garden. How can they keep tropical plants healthy during winter? And one more thing I wanted to mention before I go, I did say that last time too, but the thing I find, if you dry storage and you bring it outdoor for the next season, they take so long to keep going. So that's the number one reason I don't want to have any kind of dry storage. I just want them on the go. So they might not have a huge growth, but at least they are in the growth stage. So then I shift them out and I will have beautiful foliage, rather than waiting all the way to June, July to see, okay, where is the foliage. So that's the biggest drawback in my opinion. If you do dry storage, it takes forever to come back. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully I'll post another video soon. Bye.